Starting with the United States in 2010, global Atomy continued expansion. As Atomy became more global, there were needs that global members wanted the most. I'm not good at Korean. Is there any way to check the product information in English to help the overseas partners and do everything from purchase to delivery? A new product has been launched in Korea, and it will take some time before it is launched in the Atomy US shopping mall. What do I have to do to buy the product right away? Is there a way to send the product to a friend in Spain right from the shopping mall? I'd like to purchase Atomy products. I can't find a sponsor who can speak Korean. Can I buy it myself? We have prepared for Atomy overseas members. Operates in English. Overseas members can purchase directly and receive delivery more easily. Experience at Gmall. From acquiring product information to ordering, payment, and delivery all at once. Shall we learn more about how to purchase Atomy products at Gmall? Order. Please select a destination for delivery. Overseas members, except for Atomy Korea and Chinese members, can use the service. If you select a shipping location, Atomy products available for purchase and delivery are displayed. Payment. You can purchase up to 200,000 won per order with a credit card issued overseas. Since Gmall operates on Korean Standard Time basis, the sales date and credit card payment date are also applied on the same. Please keep this in mind. Delivery. Upon successful purchase, the product will be moved to the warehouse and declared for export. After the export declaration in Korea, the product will be shipped by air. You can receive the product after the official import customs clearance at the destination. At Gmall service, where overseas members purchase and receive delivery directly. Inquiries about use can be made on the customer service bulletin board of @Gmall. Experience @Gmall now.
Atomy's life scenario has been updated in 2020. Please write down your name, membership ID, and affiliated center on the first page. Read both President Park's poem and the life scenario manual. Atomy's new life scenario is divided into 8 parts. Part 1. The Bucket List. Here you can make a list of your wishes. Writing tip. Fill them with specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound wishes. Part 2. The Life Wheel. This part will help you define a balanced life that is fulfilling, loving, learning, and contributing. Writing tip. First, set 8 keywords to classify your life goals. Second, evaluate your current situation with a dot and join all the dots to create your life wheel. Last, write your goals in detail. Part 3. Big Plan 3. Here you can set and track your promotion goals in Atomy. Writing tip. Give yourself 3 years to achieve your goals and write in detail the target mastership level, income, and PVs. Part 4. The Monthly Life Wheel. Here you can evaluate your progress towards achieving your goals in the life wheel. Writing tip. Your thoughts on values and goals may have been changed over time. You can create a better life wheel by adjusting your goals accordingly. Part 5. Monthly Business Goals and Plans. Here you can write your goals and plans for each month. Writing tip: write down your monthly business goals and plans using the 8 steps to success. Make a to-do list with specific items needed to be done for your business. At the bottom, your monthly progress can be divided into 2 sections, with records of your income, sales PVs, and mastership level. Keep your commitment to the business by checking your current status. Part 6. The monthly 8 core checklist. This checklist will guide you to do your business effectively. Writing tip: what is 8 core? Reading, watching videos, attending meetings, using products, STP, talking to consumers, consulting sponsors, and building trust. Check every day and mark with an O or an X. Part 7. Monthly 8 Steps to Success Assessment. Here you can write a self-assessment of your own monthly business activities. Writing tip: evaluate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5 on each category of the 8 steps to success. Calculate the growth of your business by connecting these dots and adding up the total score each month. Improve your business by using the self and sponsor feedback and reviewing your actions. Part 8. Diary from My Future Self. The final part of the life scenario is to write a message from the viewpoint of your future self. Writing tip: determine how and when you will have achieved your dreams and describe a vivid picture of what will have happened in the future. Check out the example provided by Chairman Han Gil Park. Atomy's life scenario will point you to the right direction for your Atomy business, and it will be a guidebook for the success of all Atomy members. You can find Atomy's new life scenario in Atomy's online shopping mall.
Magandang umaga, Atomy Philippines! Welcome to another episode of Good Morning Atomy, your morning brief to your success. Your dose of knowledge and inspiration to power up your Atomy journey. So I'm Julie Ampang and I'll be your host for today. Okay, so Atomian, sobrang init na nga po sa labas, right? So ramdam na nga po natin ang summer na talaga, kaya wag po nating kalimutang uminom ng maraming tubig to rehydrate. And of course, wag din po nating kalimutan na maglagay ng sunscreen. Ayan, so here in Atomy, we have different types of sunscreen. We have the sunscreen beige, sunscreen white, Derma Calming Sunstick na perfect for sensitive skin. And of course, we have also Absolute Sunscreen. So, kaya kahit gaano kainit, I'm sure na protected tayo sa labas. At dahil sobrang init na, kailangan din po nating ma-freshen up anytime, anywhere. For that, we have our 3 seconds beauty water. So, spray lang and instantly, mare-refresh na tayo. And now, Atomians, wag na nating patagalin pa. Simulan na natin by watching this first video. Let's all watch this.
We hear the phrase, always seek change, all the time. It is a common piece of advice, yet it's hard to follow. Very hard. But there is something even harder. Shift your perspective. Now, how do we do that? People always say that shifting your perspective can change the world. And I think it's true that, in many cases at least, a simple change in perspective turns the world upside down. Was Uber really a groundbreaking innovation? Was a smartphone truly a revolutionary invention? No. Their genius wasn't in creating new concepts, but in seeing differently and recombining existing ideas. A simple approach transformed these visionaries into billion-dollar unicorns and reshaped history. Very often, we see examples of people taking the same resources, but producing completely different results. And when we hear about such cases, many of us cannot help but think to ourselves, why am I not able to do that? It can be discouraging. How can we break out of familiar patterns and look at things from a fresh perspective? The truth is, telling yourself that you need to see things differently isn't enough. In fact, sometimes the harder you try, the more stuck you actually feel. Oftentimes. But there is a powerful approach that offers a solution to this problem. Many cognitive psychologists, myself included, consider this discovery to be one of the most defining moments in the field. It turns out that people who are exceptionally creative and capable of reshaping the world with their unique perspectives are not necessarily born different. Instead, it all comes down to whether or not they take advantage of a very simple principle. Okay, let me get to the point. What kind of small change can help us take what already exists and turn it into something that looks completely new? Whether it is in Korea or abroad, various global companies come to me with a request. They ask me to help their top talent become more creative and develop a more innovative way of thinking. And when I do, I bring one single slide, the one you see here. It's the same exact one. Why? Because I want to make it clear that there is nothing else more important than what's on this slide. And also, I bring the objects that go along with it. What you see here are just a few examples, but in reality, I bring hundreds of these objects. Hundreds of objects, all for a single slide. Adults are actually more influenced by this, but for the sake of clarity, let me explain using children as an example. I take this slide and these objects and visit elementary schools. I go into a third grade classroom. Actually, I go to 3 different third grade classes. The difference between classes is small, so I treat them as similar groups. I give each class the exact same objects, the exact same amount of time, and the exact same task to do. The only thing I change is the timing and phrasing of my instructions just slightly. But despite such a small adjustment, the results are dramatically different from one another. In class 1, I can turn the students into perfectly ordinary kids. In class 2, I can make them seem quite smart and creative. And in class 3, I can shape them into the kind of innovative thinkers who could one day represent the country. You might be thinking, well, that's ridiculous, but this is a truly powerful paradigm that cannot fail and has never failed. Let's take a closer look. I start with class 1. I scatter the objects in front of the kids and say, everyone, pick 5 objects you like and create something new and interesting. The kids look around, but they never pick the bent, twisted, or unusual objects at the bottom. Why? They think they'd be too difficult to work with. Instead, they all choose the plain, predictable ones like the rectangular blocks and the cylinders. About 70% of the boys make cars or trains. Around 80% of the girls build houses. They all end up creating the exact same things. There's no individuality, creativity, originality, or innovation. It's a painful sight, but I leave class 1 behind and move on to class 2. So what do I do differently here? I change the timing of my words. I start the same way, by scattering the objects in front of them, but this time I only say, everyone, pick 5 objects that you like. And then I stop talking. Well, at this point, some kids look suspicious because they know I've spent quite some time in class 1. A few of the more curious ones even ask, is that it? That's all? And here's where I act a little. I say, no, I just figured you were all getting bored waiting for me. Just pick whatever you want. I'm starving, so I'm heading home now. Bye. See you later. Then I walk right out of the classroom, disappearing completely from view. So how do the kids choose now? Their personal preferences start to emerge. They no longer just pick the safe, predictable objects. And what does it mean when personal taste emerges? More and more of them start selecting the unique and unusual ones. They feel a sense of satisfaction in having something different from their classmates. Meanwhile, I watch quietly from behind the door. Once they have all made their choices, I suddenly burst back into the room and say, now take your 5 objects and create something new and interesting. Their expressions immediately go cold. Almost all of them complain, you should have told us that before you left. If I'd known, I wouldn't have picked these. Ugh, what's wrong with that man? He's giving major ick. But here is the thing, something is already changed. Now they can't all create the same thing, because they all pick different objects. And since some chose unusual ones, the number of unique and creative ideas increases dramatically. Compared to class 1, the difference is striking. But I don't stop there, I move on to class 3. What do I do in class 3? This time, I change the order entirely. So, I do not show them the objects right away. I hide them behind a curtain. I start by asking a question. If you could create something new and amazing, what would you make? Since they have no idea what's coming next, their answers are big, bold, and ambitious. Someone always mentions a robot that will preserve world peace. Lots of things that will reunite North and South Korea. Some kids say that they want to invent a smartphone that never needs charging, or a car that runs without fuel. And then others will poke them and say, "Come on, think bigger." I listen to all their ideas carefully, and then you can probably guess what I do next. I pull back the curtain, but not all at once. I lift it just a little at first, slow enough for the kids to start realizing what's about to happen. By the time I reveal them all, they know what's coming. And then I say, "Pick 5 and make what you just described." The reactions vary. Some kids' eyes well up with tears. Others drop their heads in defeat. But then, something incredible happens. Their eyes sharpen. They sharpen a lot. Why? Because now they have to protect the world, unify a country, and create groundbreaking innovations with these objects. And for the first time, they do something that did not ever happen in Class 1 or Class 2. There's real creativity. They start turning the objects around. Listen to the sounds they make when they collide. They roll them on the table. Some kids smell them. A few even lick them. I've made it very clear. Why is it so difficult? To change our perspective, because we never go through this kind of process. Experts who specialize in evaluating creativity or assessing the ability to generate ideas have reviewed the results of the students in Class 3. They analyzed how well their creative and innovative thinking has developed. The truly astonishing thing? Their scores were nearly on par with, or in some cases even higher than, those of students who had won gold medals at the World Student Creativity Olympiad. So are we still stuck in Class 1? Or are we not even at Class 2 yet? Why did we not make it to Class 3? Why did the students in Class 1 end up so ordinary? Because they looked at the tools, then thought about how to use them, and only after that decided on a goal. Humans struggle to imagine big results when they start by looking at small tools. We often assume that to achieve something great, we need big tools or major methods to help us do it. That's why when we begin with small tools, we tend to dream small or set modest goals for ourselves. Conversely, by changing the order, by prioritizing our true aspirations, the tools we have will show opportunities others may not see. And here's the important part. The final goals that the students in Class 3 came up with were so big that they were almost impossible to achieve. What do we, psychologists, or rather, what do people in general call something like that? We call it a dream. In psychology, dreams and goals serve completely different functions. Dreams shouldn't be so big that they seem impossible to achieve. Goals, on the other hand, have a clear destination that can be seen and measured. Once a goal is set, there needs to be a plan to reach it. The reality is that most people only have 1 or 2 of these 3 things. Some people have dreams so big they seem unattainable. Some have clear goals that define where they need to go. Others have a detailed plan to achieve their goals. It's those with all 3 of them who really accomplish incredible things. Goals without dreams leave you stranded. People who think solely in terms of goals like "I will become this" or "I will earn this much" may be able to plan. But once they attain their goal, without a guiding dream, they lack a direction. This subsequent void, coupled with the potential loss of creativity, fuels a negative spiral that they fall into. You need to have a dream. Even if the whole world thinks you are crazy, it doesn't matter. In every language, when people talk about grand aspirations or a vision for the future, they call it a dream. But in those same languages, the word dream also refers to the strange, unrealistic things we imagine while we sleep. Why do all languages use the same word for both? It's because a vision or aspiration should be as big and outrageous as the dreams we have while sleeping. But if all you have is a dream, you'll end up like Don Quixote, chasing illusions. The truth is, most of what people have are just goals, not dreams. A real dream needs to be much bigger. And what's one of the key functions of dreams? A dream is not just something you aim to achieve. It's there to change how you see the small tools you have. Do you have a dream, a goal, and a plan? Or are you someone who only has a dream without any clear, concrete goals? Many people fall into the second category. There's also many with only goals, working hard every day but feeling stuck and exhausted because they cannot see beyond them. Only having a grand dream paired with a tangible goal fuels lasting drive. You may have heard of the 10,000-hour rule. The idea is that if you dedicate enough time and effort to something, you can develop exceptional skills in it. But why is it only a small number of people actually do this? As cognitive psychologists, we believe that lacking either a dream or a goal significantly diminishes your chances of truly ever succeeding.
Wow, what an inspiring video about dreaming big and believing in your potential. So Atomians, remember, your potential is bigger than any of your circumstances. Sabi nga ng ating Sherman, if you dream vividly, it will definitely come true. So let's dream big, move forward, and make it happen. Now, for our next lecture, this is a video from none other than our Sherman, Mr. Park Hankill. Let's all watch this.
When a partner is struggling, don't just tell them to stay strong. What should you do instead? If a leader is having a hard time, you shouldn't tell them to stay strong. There is a famous song in Korea, a song that goes, "Dad, stay strong." A comedian in Korea has voiced his strong dislike for that song. Why is that? He was working very hard and feeling overwhelmed, but his family kept telling him to stay strong. It felt like they were pushing him to keep going until he collapsed. He wished they would modify the song a bit. Something like, "Dad, take a good rest. We've got everything covered." Therefore, when a partner is struggling, don't tell them to stay strong. What should you do instead? Tell them that you will take care of everything and request their list of partners. Do you think that will motivate them or not? They will gain motivation to begin working together with you. The unity of hearts creates the super synergy of united hearts. But to achieve such super synergy of united hearts, leaders need to show effort. There has to be an emotional impact. However, if leaders are not fully committed and resort to playing tactics without genuine effort, it won't create any emotional impact. Partners might perceive it as empty promises when a leader claims they will manage everything and support dozens or hundreds of partners. I am not suggesting empty words. Speak the truth that genuinely comes from your heart. If you truly give your best effort and show sincerity to your partners, they will find courage and strength to start moving on their own, even without you coming to help every time. The saying, "Gyoto samgur," means that a cunning rabbit has 3 burrows. Do not limit to only 2 lines on both sides. Do not place your full trust only in the 2 lines. Instead, create a 3rd one. People seek to utilize their leverage. So to protect yourself from potential instability caused by your downline partners, it's essential to make 3 lines on each side. Even if one person decides to go astray, you can still proceed with the other 2 lines. A leader is defined not by their success through their partners, but by their ability to make their partners successful. Please remember that a cunning rabbit has 3 burrows. A leader is someone who makes their partner successful, not someone who succeeds through their partners. The first reason why many people fail to succeed is that they don't even consider the thought of it. You might ask, who never thought of success? But if you specifically ask them what wealth means, they often can't answer. The reason is that they haven't specifically thought about how much money one needs to have and what kind of life one needs to have to become rich. What does that mean? They don't have the intention of becoming rich. Now, the first step is to develop the mindset of becoming rich. Write a life scenario that focuses on a balanced life, about what kind of rich person you will become. A scenario creates a film. You should vividly imagine the kind of life you will have in the future, as if you are watching a movie in your mind. That movie should be a great one. How great should it be? Something that would drive you crazy if you could make it a reality. That's the kind of movie you need to picture in your mind. You will then be able to conquer any challenge, no matter how difficult it might be. The problem isn't the issue itself, rather it lies in having small dreams. With big dreams, you can easily overcome anything. A failure is someone who constantly fixates on problems, hoping they will disappear, or tries to avoid them altogether. Don't struggle with the problems. Problems are always present. What should you do? Focus on cultivating your dreams instead of fixating on the problems. When your dreams are big, those problems become nothing. If you haven't yet firmly decided to become an Imperial Master, make a commitment to strive for the highest rank of Imperial. I hope each of you becomes a leader with big dreams and a passionate drive to achieve them.
And that was a powerful message from our chairman. So if you truly desire to become rich and achieve financial abundance, dream big and be willing to take on the challenges. So remember, it all begins with a burning desire and the determination to make it happen. Okay, now Atomians, we are moving on to our final lecture. So if you have any scalp concerns or hair concerns, or you know someone who does, this lecture is definitely for you. So, panoorin po natin ito.
Hello, my name is Han Yoi-sung and I'm a 14-year researcher at Kolmar Korea as well as the head of the personal care team. I have been in charge of developing Atomy's hair and body products. I also oversaw the entire development process of the Root Vital line. In the past, people only used highly effective products for basic skincare, and when it came to shampoo, it was just a simple cleansing product. However, recently, consumers have started to prefer high-performance products for cleansing as well, seeking more than just basic cleaning from these products. As it became necessary to develop products that meet these consumer needs, we had many internal discussions about what kind of product to create, and the result of those efforts is the Root Vital line. It's difficult to say that hair loss occurs for just one reason. In fact, a variety of factors work together in a complex way. The most common causes are genetic factors, hormonal changes, and scalp aging also plays a role. Recently, things like environmental pollution, stress, and hormonal changes after childbirth have also been shown to affect hair loss. In the past, hair loss was mostly seen in adult men, but these days people of all ages and genders are concerned about hair loss.
What exactly is scalp aging?
We tend to pay a lot of attention to facial aging and start anti-aging care from a young age, but it's easy to overlook aging of the scalp. But if you think about it simply, the scalp is also skin. When the scalp ages, blood circulation decreases and its elasticity declines. When blood circulation decreases, the nutrients and oxygen supplied to the hair are reduced, which causes the hair to start thinning and can eventually lead to hair loss. It's important to take care of your scalp health from a young age. We have formulated the active ingredients so that care can be provided in 3 steps, step by step. The first step contains ingredients like saw palmetto and camphorol, which help lay the foundation for hair growth. The second step includes an ingredient called adenosine. So this ingredient actually helps promote better blood circulation. When blood circulation in the scalp improves, nutrients are supplied more efficiently, which in turn helps prevent thin hair from falling out easily from the scalp. And then in the third step, there's biotin, which helps care for the hair, making it stronger and more resilient. We've incorporated the active ingredients from these 3 steps into what we call the Root Vital Code, and using Root Vital technology, we deliver these ingredients effectively.
What exactly is the microbiome?
When we analyzed the microbiome of healthy scalps and those experiencing hair loss, we found that there are certain groups of microorganisms that are only present on healthy scalps. So since these groups are not found on the scalps of people with hair loss, we developed our proprietary ingredient called Smart Biome, using a fermented composition derived from the microorganisms of healthy scalps. When we applied only this ingredient to the scalp, we confirmed that it helped manage issues like itchiness, redness, and even flakiness. That's why we incorporated this ingredient into the entire Root Vital line. Since this is a proprietary ingredient used exclusively by Atomy, you can think of it as an ingredient you won't find anywhere else.
The reason why Root Vital is inevitably better than Absolute as a hair loss care shampoo is because
the Absolute line is also an excellent product, but it mainly uses herbal ingredients, and then key functional ingredients for hair loss such as menthol, panthenol, and salicylic acid are included. But since these ingredients mainly care for the outer part of the scalp, there are actually some limitations when it comes to caring for the inside of the scalp. So we designed the Root Vital line as a way to care for both the inside and outside of the scalp at the same time. The key cells involved in hair growth are called dermal papilla cells, and these ingredients can also be said to influence the activation of those dermal papilla cells. So compared to existing products, our main ingredients are differentiated from the start, and while previous products didn't have any ingredient delivery technology, we've applied an ingredient delivery technology called Root Vital technology. We've also incorporated the latest trend, microbiome technology, into this line. You can think of it as a complex formulation that even incorporates microbiome technology to care for the outer layer. The entire line contains Root Vital Code and the Smart Biome I mentioned earlier, and all of them use caffeine as the main functional ingredient.
So caffeine is the main ingredient.
To effectively treat hair loss, products need a main active ingredient. For regulatory approval, they must match clinical study dosages. Thus, these products all contain caffeine. We have composed the Root Vital hair care line in a total of 3 types this time. The reason is that we needed something that could provide care from the cleansing stage all the way to after cleansing, so we put together a lineup of shampoo, scalp hair pack, and ampule, 3 products in total. Especially for the shampoo, it has the characteristic of producing a very dense and rich foam. So even if you use only a small amount, a variety of bubbles, both small and slightly larger ones, are created. When we developed the shampoo, we focused on scalp health. When cleansing, we included only enough conditioning to minimize hair damage and prevent hair loss, so some consumers may feel that it is a bit stiff. In this case, if you use the scalp hair pack together, you can achieve a sufficiently smooth feel. As for our scalp hair pack, although it was developed to focus on the scalp and provide moisture, it also contains hair coating ingredients, so even those with long hair can use it to achieve a sufficiently smooth feel.
I think this is the first time I've seen an ampule like this. Here.
Just as we naturally apply skincare products after washing our face, the scalp also becomes dry after cleansing. Ampules are considered highly effective products in skincare, right? So you can think of scalp ampules as also being highly effective products. When the scalp heats up, it can eventually be linked to hair loss. So instead of just adding a single cooling ingredient, we included 4 different cooling ingredients inside hyaluronic acid. So rather than a sharp, intense cooling sensation, you'll feel a gentle, lasting coolness. You can apply it after using the scalp hair pack, either before drying your scalp or after it's dry. Our Absolute skincare line incorporates targeted technology inspired by pharmaceuticals. You can think of it as us applying that same technology to hair care. You can see this as our attempt to expand a technology that was previously limited to skincare into hair care. So the ingredient delivery technology has been further enhanced and applied to hair through what we call the Root Vital technology.
While developing Root Vital, were there any memorable episodes with Atomy or any particular challenges you faced?
Are you there? It had been a long time since we developed and launched a new product as a set like this, so creating Root Vital was quite a new experience for us. So we attempted this many times over a long period, and I can say that this product took a great deal of effort and time to develop. So not only the researchers at Colmar, Korea, but also the BMs at Atomy headquarters continuously held meetings about the texture and scent, discussing each aspect in detail. Even when we had internal blind tests both at our office and when we visited Gwangju, the satisfaction levels were already quite high. But everyone wanted to push further and worked hard to develop a product that would achieve even greater satisfaction. There really aren't many academic resources or materials available when it comes to hair care. So we searched for a lot of academic materials, consulted professors extensively, and had many discussions about how to differentiate our product, especially since there are already so many hair loss products on the market. And since it couldn't just be a good product, we also had to verify its actual effectiveness, which took almost 2 years. Yes, usually I recommend using it once a day after finishing your daily schedule and before going to bed, because that's when you can cleanse away the impurities that have built up throughout the day. But there are some consumers who have very active sebum production. For teenagers or people like that, I recommend cleansing lightly in the morning as well.
I'm only using the shampoo and hair pack. Is that still okay?
Depending on the condition of your scalp, you can choose how to use them, but when we developed these products, we also considered the feel of using them together. Each product has its own function, you know. So the shampoo is mainly for cleansing, the scalp hair pack is mainly for moisturizing, and the ampule is mainly for providing nourishment. Because of that, there will be some difference in effectiveness between using all 3 together and just using 2 of them.
When drying your hair, is it better to dry it completely or leave it half dry?
After cleansing, the scalp becomes a very humid environment. In this case, you can consider it an environment where dandruff or inflammation can easily occur. So it's important to dry your scalp and hair thoroughly, and since hot air can dry out your scalp or hair, you should use lukewarm air to dry them well.
There are so many shampoos for hair loss.
Oh yes. As I mentioned earlier, just by adding ingredients like menthol, panthenol, salicylic acid or caffeine, which is included in this product, you can market it as a functional shampoo for hair loss. But if you only use those, the effectiveness can be a bit lacking, so we've added our own delivery technology on top of that. That's what we call Root Vital technology. As I mentioned earlier, we encapsulate the Root Vital code using liposome technology, wrapping it up like a pouch. By doing this, the particles become smaller, which helps them penetrate between cells more easily and be absorbed better. However, there are still some limitations to penetrating between cells, so we attached a peptide called PTD, which is a type of amino acid sequence. By attaching this, it can actually penetrate the cell membrane, allowing it to enter much more quickly. In reality, there's no guarantee that the active ingredient will be delivered exactly where we want it, so we targeted dermal papilla cells. In these cells, the presence of collagen peptides allows for much better penetration. Earlier, I mentioned that in the Root Vital code, we encapsulated the ingredient in a liposome attached PTD and then even added collagen peptide to it. We conducted an in vitro test to see if it actually penetrates the dermal papilla cells, and when we used only the liposome, only about 2% penetrated. But when we attached both PTD and our collagen peptide, more than 50% was able to penetrate. So you can see that the penetration rate increased significantly. First, we conducted an in vitro test to examine whether there was actual activity in the dermal papilla cells. Then, as a second step, we monitored changes in the scalp of Colmar employees over about a month using a scalp device. And finally, we launched the product after verifying its effectiveness for hair loss and scalp health through clinical trials at an external clinical institution. So, in terms of quality, you can use it without any concerns. Developing this product with ingredient delivery technology was something Atomy attempted and developed for the first time, and even though it contains many good ingredients, I personally think it's very affordable. I believe it's a very reasonable price. It's really expensive elsewhere. I think it would cost at least twice as much. Yes.
So, are there different care methods depending on the stage of hair loss?
When hair loss begins, your hair starts to thin, you lose more than 100 strands a day, and the density gradually decreases. But not everyone can recognize which stage they're in. So, when consumers realize they have hair loss, regardless of the stage, they can use it. As I mentioned earlier, the root vital code itself activates the dermal papilla cells and promotes blood circulation, which helps prevent hair from falling out and strengthens thinning hair. So it can be used regardless of whether it's early stage or progressive hair loss.
Could you explain a bit about the difference between Sangmodansu and the ampoule?
Just like when we apply basic skincare products, we use toner first and then ampoule. Sangmodansu is a product you can use lightly like a toner, while the ampoule can be considered a more highly effective product. Sangmodansu is mainly composed of ingredients that care for the outer barrier of the scalp, while Root Vital, for example, contains key ingredients that activate the dermal papilla cells. Since it also includes ingredients that care for the outer layer, you can think of it as a product that cares for both the inside and outside at the same time. So if you use both products together, after cleansing with shampoo, you can think of applying Sangmodansu to your entire scalp, like you would apply a toner to your skin, quickly providing moisturizing effects. After that, you can use the ampoule to deliver more potent active ingredients. Using them in this order would be ideal. Root Vital was developed not only for those experiencing hair loss, but also with the goal of promoting scalp health. So I recommend this product to anyone who wants to keep their scalp and hair healthy, and I hope you will continue to show it lots of love and support in the future. Thank you.
Wow, Atomians, that lecture really shows how important it is to take care of our scalp and hair from the roots. So with the Atomy Root Vital Hair Care Set, you can strengthen your roots, nourish your scalp, and enjoy healthy, beautiful hair every day. So whether it's for you or for someone you know, this is definitely a must-try product. So before we end, let's take a look at our April seminar schedule. Ayan. Starting next Monday, we will be having members training. Every Monday po yan, April 13, 20, and 27. And every Wednesday, we have a roadmap to success. Every Thursday, one-day seminar, and every Friday is Atomy Showcase Day. Magkakaroon din po tayo ng regional one-day seminar dyan sa Cagayan de Oro and Cebu. And there you have it, Atomians. I hope you are now filled with motivation to kickstart this week. So we firmly believe in your potential and we stand by your side every step of the way until you reach the top. Again, this is Julie and this has been Good Morning Atomy. Mabuhay Atomy Philippines! Aja!